Hello, everybody. It's the film Optimist, and today I'm talking about Indie Game the movie. I didn't just watch Remember the Titans with my best friend back then. I watched that with Indie Game the movie, and then The Cabin in the Woods. So that's gonna be next week's review. Um, that was a great night. Starting with Remember the Titans, I think it just got better from there on out. This documentary is advertised as being about indie games, but fucked with you by making you think it's just about Super Meat Boy. Kind of not really. The poster is Super Meat Boy, so it's like, oh shit, this is about Super Meat Boy. But it isn't. It's about the games Super Meat Boy, Fez, and Braid, and the developmental and thought processes that went into creating these games. Well, it's about games in general, really. This movie appeals to two sides of me, the gamer and the writer. It's so interesting to see all the behind the scenes shit. Seriously, if you don't enjoy this work of art, you have no soul. So watch this orgasmic visual slice of heaven, you soulless cunt. Pretty understated review, I'd say. Um, I think I held back just a little bit. Um, Let me see the people. And there was a Kickstarter to get this to go. So it's Edmund McMillan, who's created Super Meat Boy, Binding of Isaac, and a bunch of other shit. Raffinas, how you say his name? They both worked on Super Meat Boy, and they talk about Super Meat Boy. Phil Fish during Fez, and wow, um, we'll get to him, and then Jonathan Blow for Braid, and Edmund McMillan and Tommy are looked at pretty well. Tommy, I don't really hear a lot about. Edmund McMillan, people love him, and I never knew this dude started on Newgrounds. I mean, he uploaded a Super Meat Boy prototype to Newgrounds. I knew that, but I didn't know he was like a Newgrounds content creator. And so when people talk about Newgrounds and they talk about like what Newgrounds did for the future of gaming and for a lot of people like myself who were exposed to that crazy, fucking, just chaotic website. A lot of people got their creative juices flowing and became really big people. Ego Raptor is one of those that like talk shit on Newgrounds now, which is weird because he would be nothing without Newgrounds. Like he would have probably eventually found a way without the Ego Raptor name, but Ego Raptor was his launch pad. That's his jumping off point. And now look at him, Game Grumps. Like he's got fucking I don't know how much his net worth is. Um, but if not for Tom Fulp, the creator of Newgrounds, um, we don't fucking know, right? 1.5 million. People are like, oh wow, that's still a lot of money. It's 1.5 million. If I search my name net worth, fucking what 20,000? I don't know how net worths work. Jonathan Blow and Phil Fish are some of the most polarizing figures in gaming. Jonathan Blow is such like an artiste. He's so magnificent with his craft, and Braid, was that the one that like you get like rewind time and shit? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a crazy game, and I don't think I ever got to beat it with my friend. He said that my best friend at the time when we watched this, he's like, we got to play all these games. We played Super Meat Boy. We didn't beat it, but that's such a challenging game, but so fun. I gotta get back to playing that and actually complete it, or not complete it, but beat it at least. And then Fez, I never got to play at all, and just seeing what went into making these. Shut the fuck up while I'm reviewing. Like as soon as I start recording and talking, you start fucking meowing. You needy fucking asshole. Are you hungry? I got food and bitch, you need water. Hopefully you'll stop meowing after we give you some water. Um, yeah, seeing Edmund McMillan and Tommy's development of Super Meat Boy is pretty cool. Seeing the trials and tribulations of everything. Jonathan Blow is very like I said, an artiste. He's very not eccentric, but like He's genius. The way he sits there, you're like, oh, this dude's a genius. Obviously, this dude's like a fucking Steve Jobs or something. Like this dude's big time. And Jonathan Blow made something else, didn't he? I don't think he didn't make Fable. Um, but Phil Fish is the one I really want to talk about, and this guy. A lot of people do not like Philippe Poisson, better known as Phil Fish. He talks about how things were stolen from him. He's very outspoken and very like he's kind of awkward, kind of like dude might be on the spectrum or something. Like he's very like just and he starts talking about things very openly. And they asked him what would you have done if this game wasn't a success, because like he lost a lot of money. There's legal battles and shit like that. Such a fascinating story. And they have the camera trained on him, and they ask him, "What would you have done if it hadn't been?" He's like, "I would have killed myself. Like genuinely, I would have killed myself." As someone that suffers with depression, those words don't hit lightly. And my best friend and I, when we were watching it, he spoke up as soon as he said, because he had already seen Indie Game the movie. As soon as he said, "I would have killed myself," my best friend's like, "Shut the fuck up, shut up, pussy, shut up." And I'm like, dude, I think about that all the time. Like, I do think about killing myself. Trigger warning, by the way. Um, Everything's just therapy now. I, as someone that thought about it a lot, and it's so crazy looking back and being like, why did I want to do that back then? My problems were so like inconsequential. I think I used that word already like 2 or 3 times in this review, but it's it's baffling to me. But like I could totally relate to what he's talking. He's creating something. He created something big in Fez, but if it hadn't have been big, if it hadn't have hit, if it hadn't have sold well, if people really didn't care about it. That's he poured his heart, his soul, his money, like all this shit. He got fucked over. I could totally see where he's coming from. Like, wow, all that shit for nothing. He would have killed himself. And that's what I think about a lot with like my writing and everything. But I'm not gonna kill myself. If I ever created something that size, that magnitude, just poured my heart and soul into it, I was almost bankrupt from it, and then nothing came of it. Fuck, like I think if I liked it, I'd be proud of it for me. But man, it'd be a bummer losing that fucking money. And money is unfortunately what makes the world go round. So, um, fascinating documentary. This might be my first my first review of a documentary. I could have sworn it was Dirt the movie, which we'll be talking about not too long after this, I think. Um, but wow, I was really into this, um, and it really changed the night, and it made me emotional. I should have probably said that when I was like, "Oh man, he's talking about depression." If you didn't already get that from that exchange that I had, mental exchange. And if his problems, if my best friend says this tells this guy to shut the fuck up about his problems, like I don't have problems like this guy does, but man, I think about it a lot too. What does that say about our friendship? Is what I was thinking when that happened. I was like, man, this guy doesn't give a fuck. Past, present, and future. It's so God. This is such a great one. You guys have a good one. I'm gonna get off here, and then hopefully everyone's gonna shut the fuck up and be quiet now, because there's only a baby. Um, but you guys have a good one.